Welcome to SBR Forum Videos. This is the Pete's Parlay Show for college football week 13. I'm Peter Loshak, and well, last week I hit my second parlay in a row, 5-teamer in college. I knew this shit was going to happen, son. Now I'm way up for the year. I'm up like $1,000. Each of these parlays risks 100, so now I'm way up for 1,000 on the year. I'm up $1,000 on the year. ROI of like 70%. So to all the haters out there, sorry, what can I say? You got nothing on me. In the words of Gigi Allen, bite it, you scum. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got this week. College football, week 13. Let's see if we can do it again. Kind of a tough week. I got 6 teams I wound up putting in the parlay this week. Start with the games that I previewed with Troy West. Oregon minus 19. It was a side that he liked. I kind of liked it as well. Then I talked to Brent from BetDSI. He told me that the Sharps did take Oregon. Some took it at 19, some took it at 20. So Oregon probably is a sharp side. It's going to be raining, though, at Arizona. So, I decided to leave it out of the parlay, but I do think it's probably a sharp side. And, again, the Sharps are on it. Probably a little bit of side value, but I'm leaving it out. Then one of the games I previewed with Troy West is the side that I'm going to include here, and that's going to be Oklahoma State plus 8.5. Now, we previewed that game. We said we didn't quite understand what the deal was with this line. We were like, this line shouldn't be that high, right? Oklahoma State, an 8.5-point home underdog. Then, right after we did the video, the line went to 10. So then we were really confused. Now it's back down to 8.5 at DSI. And I did talk to Brent, and he told me that all the action on Baylor is public action, and that he did see sharp action that came in on Oklahoma State at plus 10.5. Also on the money line at plus 320. So it's kind of interesting that the Sharps didn't take Oklahoma State on the opening line at 8.5, But it's a little bit comforting that they did take it at 10.5. Now it's back down to 8.5 again at BetDSI. I considered buying it up to 10, which would have been minus 140, but I decided just screw it. I'm going to include it. Troy likes it. Plus 8.5. I like it plus 8.5, and the Sharps took it at plus 10.5. That's going to be the first pick of my parlay, Oklahoma State plus 8.5, and I did preview that with Troy West from allplayswin.com. Then Joe Duffy from offshoreinsiders.com. I'm going to include actually 2 of the games that I previewed with him. First one, Oklahoma, Kansas State. We both like the over 54.5, and we explained why in the video. Now it's down to 53.5 in at BetDSI right now. I think so, right. Yeah, 53.5 is the line it is right now. The line movement is not, super thrilling to me. I'm not exactly sure what caused it, but I trust Joe's opinion and my opinion on college football totals. So great that we're going to get 53.5. That's going to be the second pick in the parlay. Kansas State, Oklahoma over 53.5. We also previewed the Nebraska-Penn State game. We both decided that Penn State minus 1.5 was a good play. Right now it's down to 1. Again, I'm not exactly sure what's causing that line. That makes me a little bit nervous. Nebraska doesn't have anything to play for, so I could easily see them coming in and getting a win here with nothing to play for. But, they do have kind of an inconsistent first-year quarterback. They're banged up on the offensive line, kind of inexperienced on defense. They're kind of, sucky on special teams. So all things considered, it's a low line. I'm going to add Penn State minus 1 as the third play in the parlay, although, again, it's a little bit strange that line went where it did. Maybe it'll go up to 2.5 by game day. Who knows, by kickoff. But as of right now, Penn State minus 1. That's at BetDSI. That's the third play in the parlay. I did consider taking Minnesota plus 16.5, which I previewed with Joe Duffy. I think that's probably the right side. If Brent had told me that Sharps took it, then I would have included it, but they didn't. I think Minnesota probably covers, but that was on the cusp, on the border. Decided against including it in the parlay. And then Northwestern plus 7.5. I also previewed Joe Duffy. That's down to 6.5 now, so probably at 7.5 it was a good play. I'm leaving it out, though, right there. Then let's see. What else do we have here? Well, Steve from collegefootballwinning.com, he liked UCLA at plus 3. I agree with. We nailed UCLA 2 weeks ago. He likes it again here. I like it again here as well. Just barely decided against it. UCLA is kind of banged up, but I think that's probably a side with value. Anyway, all right. And then moving on to the sides that Brent told me about that were sharp, or Oklahoma State, Oregon. Ohio State under, they took 82.5. Now it's at 81. If the Sharps took it, it's probably a sharp side. I don't quite see it, but, take that for what it's worth. Then he told me that the Sharps also took Florida State at under 69.5, and it went down to about 68.5 or 68. Now it's back up to 69.5. So I actually almost included that one in this parlay. I actually did almost include Florida State under 69.5, but ultimately decided against it. But that's probably a side with a little bit of value. Look at Florida State's games. They don't quite get into the 70s when they're this big of a favorite. So, and especially with all the off-field issues and their game against Florida coming up next week, under 69.5 is probably a decent side. Then he told me that Duke -4 and 4.5 was a sharp side, and that is a side that I also like myself on the opening line. Problem is now it's 6.5 at BetDSI. The money line is -240. I considered taking 6.5. Considered buying it down to 4 at like whatever it was. Considered taking the money line at -240. Ultimately decided against. But the sharps are on Duke. I agree with that. Probably a little bit of value still at 6.5. And then he told me sharps took North Texas at -7 and on the money line. Right now they're 7.5. That's probably a sharp side as well, but I decided against it. All right, other picks that I considered, and then the last 3 picks in the parlay. Almost took Syracuse under 49.5. Like that one kind of a lot, decent amount. It is a low total though. Like it, just decided against putting in the parlay, but that's a side that I like and almost included. Texas State, I really wanted to take the over 50.5. That total is way lower than I was expecting, but there is significantly crappy weather on the weather report, so on the weather forecast, so that would explain why the number where it is. Throws a monkey wrench into everything, so I will leave that out. Oh yeah, Brent also told me that Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, under 56.5 and 55.5 were sharp sides, and right now it's 54.5. So I'm not going to take that one. Oh, yeah, I almost took Memphis +23. Man, Louisville is not blowing out teams by 23 points, these days. And Memphis is, has a tight defense. They tend to play lower scoring games, and I think they'll stay within the number at 23. I did like it a lot at the opener, 24.5. Almost put it in this one, but decided against it. UCLA almost put in. And, that's about it. All right, let's get to the other 3 teams, and I'll put in the parlay. First one. Louisiana Tech under 54. Just kind of a standard play. I think the line's a tad too high. Both these teams play modest scoring games. 54, a little bit of a high college total. I'll take that one under 54. Then I'm going to take Middle Tennessee State Southern Miss under 55. We know what the deal with Southern Miss is, right? They have an offense that can barely put up points against anyone. Middle Tennessee State, not the most explosive offense in the world, and I'm not sure they're going to be motivated to run up the score here. Also, there's some iffy weather on the forecast, so I'm going to take the under 55 there. And then the 6th team in the parlay is going to be Vanderbilt, Tennessee, over 53.5. Tennessee off of a bye. They have kind of a new quarterback who, playing a little bit better. It's their last home game. Vanderbilt's going to have their starting quarterback in again. So 53.5, not a really high college total. So that's the 6th pick, Tennessee over 53.5. And those are the 6 picks, all at -110. And I'm going to do a 4, 5, and 6 team round robin, $4.50 base. So that comes to $99 risk to win $1,700.17 if all 6 hit. If 5 hit, still wins about $300, and 4 hit loses about $40. 3 hit or less, obviously, loses $99. Not a big deal since I am up so much significantly at the moment. All right, that's my Pete's Premium Parlay for college football week 13. Thanks for tuning in.